Codes of conduct. That's our topic for today. Hey everyone, what's happening? Today I was watching DistroTube and he did a video on codes of conduct and how they are being used to push political agendas and be heavily political, etc. And as a response, he wrote a FOSS code of conduct for the free and open source community. So I figured this would be an interesting subject for me to expound upon. So let's go ahead and dive into this. So ladies and gentlemen, the FOSS Code of Conduct. So the FOSS Code of Conduct is divided up into different sections. The first section is the ethic of reciprocity. The most fundamental ethic is that of reciprocity. Do unto others as they do unto you. Well, that's kind of weird, but I'll expand on that in a second. Are you treating others in a manner that they would not treat you? If so, then your actions are out of bounds, and you should cease those actions. Emotional reactions should be calculated carefully. Before acting, decide how the potential response might benefit you and or the community as a whole, and how it might hinder you and or the community. Now, I think what he meant was do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And where does that actually come from? That actually comes from the Bible and in Matthew. But without diving into religion, many religions have a certain ethic of reciprocity, the Buddhists, the Muslims, etc. So, but the bottom line is you should treat others as you would want to be. Definitely. Now, there are a lot of toxic Linux and open source communities out there as far as forums, etc. Some of them are kind of mean and not accepting of outsiders, or if you don't know anything, they'll tell you to go OTFM. If you don't know what that means, it means read the effing manual, etc. Now, the thing is, if you wouldn't want someone to say that to you, don't say it. You should never repay evil with evil. It does not turn out very well. And really, the thing is, whether you believe in God or not, you could believe in karma, which means eventually evil actions turn around and bite someone right on the butt. So, in other words, just treat others the way you want to be. Right. Number 2, actions define us. People should not be prejudged by their race, ethnicity, nationality, etc., but rather evaluated on their accomplishments and actions. Harassment, discrimination should not and will not be tolerated. Instead, you are judged on your actions, and based on your actions, you will either succeed in your achievements or fail in your own incompetence or impotence. Well, that's pretty much straightforward. You should never have any prejudice against anybody, whether they're black, white, whether they're from a different country, whether they're Muslim, Christian, whatever, or gay, straight, etc. Your actions should always determine who you are, not your skin color. Number 3, inequality. On equality, no two people are the same. Common sense should dictate that no two individuals have the exact same strength, intelligence, drive to perseverance, etc. When you claim that two people are equal, it's insulting both individuals. The term inequality should not have a negative connotation. In fact, our inequality should be celebrated. It's what makes each one of us unique. Yeah, no two people are the same at all. I mean, I like computers, but some other people may not like computers, etc. However, we however, inequality is not necessarily a bad thing at all. Diversity, etc. is a very good thing. I mean, I like certain aspects of a computer, but without the programmer and those who like programming, the computer wouldn't work. I like fixing them. I like tinkering with operating systems. I like teaching people how to use them. That's a strength in our community. Number 4, acceptance rather than tolerance. Acceptance is expected among our members, but not necessarily tolerance. Tolerance is negative in connotation and in practice. Tolerance is to endure with forbearance and restraint. It implies that you must fight your own instinct. Tolerance requires patience and causes stress and frustration. Most importantly, tolerance drains you of your vital energy. Energy is not limitless. So rather than wasting energy on tolerance, direct that energy towards something positive. Acceptance is a positive emotion and should be practiced by all our members. While tolerance focuses on the bad aspects of a person or situation, acceptance is seeing the good in the person or situation. When you find yourself becoming irritated at the behavior of others, look deeper and find the positive aspects that are there within each and every one of us. Now, you don't necessarily have to tolerate everything. There are certain things you should not tolerate in any community. However, yes, be looking for positive aspects of everything. But you don't have to tolerate bad behavior, bad language, etc. That's just common sense. Number 5, don't be judgmental. The practice of judging and condemning is a negative emotion and is a sign of a shallow intellect. Typically, the one who is condemning is doing so because of his own inadequacy. He is a weak-minded, and he must focus on all the negative aspects of others to avoid the pain of recognizing the negative aspects of himself. A wise man once said, "Judge not, lest judged." Well, yes, you should not be judging others. Being judgmental from a certain point often is a sign of weakness on yourself. The person who said, "Judge not, lest you be judged," was actually a quote from the Bible, from the same area of scripture that I was telling you about earlier. But other religions have a similar tenet as well. But the thing is, also, if you point a finger, you've got 3 more pointing right back at you. So you shouldn't be pointing fingers, you shouldn't be blaming people, you shouldn't be judging anybody at all. You should be building each other up. It is much more productive. Alright, so number 6, victim mentality and martyrdom. Some people are habitual victims, seeking personal attention all the time. When someone is committed to being a victim, everyone else is to blame, and there is absolutely no hope whatsoever for this person. The victim only has one cause, himself. Some victims prefer to play the role of martyr. They often pick fights in order to lose. To be the victim, to be the martyrdom, is often used by weaklings who cannot admit defeat or admit that they were wrong. If you are in a situation where martyrdom is the only course of action, then you are championing the wrong cause. Victim mentality and self-martyrdom will not be tolerated. Now, speaking from personal experience, I really don't like people playing the victim. Really, you are what you make yourself, and your action. This this winds into your actions define you. If you want to play the victim, that's fine, but you're only hurting yourself. And honestly, it kind of makes yourself look dumb, really. So if someone's being mean to you, you shouldn't necessarily play the victim, and you shouldn't tolerate that behavior as well. But really, wanting to be a victim and wanting to be a martyr, that's not productive. And really, people should not be doing it. It's kind of stupid, actually. At least that's my personal opinion about playing a victim. Number 7, your value to the community. We as human beings tend to over-validate ourselves, always thinking we are worth more than we actually are. No one ever claims they are overpaid or treated well by others. We think we are clothed psychologically with pretenses and fraud, but we have to understand that the market is never wrong. You may think that you deserve more money, greater respect, or better treatment, but if no one is willing to give you these things, then the market has priced you accordingly. You must learn to evaluate yourself as an impartial observer. Now, this is actually pretty tough to do. Everybody wants respect, everyone wants to be accepted, etc. And if you're not being, but normally, if you're not giving respect, when you're not being accepted by others, there's normally a very, very good reason for it. I mean, if you're acting like a total jerk or an asshole, then who's going to want to respect that? But if you're the nicest person in the world, it's going to be hard not to respect that person at all. Or stuff like that. Just think of that boss who's a real jerk. Do you really respect that boss? Or does it make you want to be respectful of that boss? Well, no. But if you have a really, really nice boss, you want to give that boss respect. You want to show up to work and do what you can to help that boss out. The same applies to any community or any relationship. Number 8, competition is encouraged. Competition amongst individuals should not be shunned but encouraged. The brutal fact is the more we opt out of competition, the lower our position in the community is likely to be. If you feel yourself slipping down in the ranks of the pecking order, then do something about it. Well, this is actually right and straightforward, actually. I mean, the thing is, you want to make yourself better, don't you? But the thing is, there's always someone going to be better than you. If you want to be the best, you got to keep working for it. Now, there's a saying, if you're flying high, there's always someone that's going to be waiting for you. So you've got to fly higher. That is true in any situation of life. So that was the FOSS Code of Conduct that Derek Taylor wrote over on DistroTube. Now, he also put this in a blog post, and he also did a video on it. Like I mentioned before, I will link both in the description below. Overall, I think most of this is just common sense. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And competition, all that kind of stuff. That is just the way the world works in any situation, and this is common sense. So, I think that this was a very, very good piece of writing and a very, very good video by Derek. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, that's what the thumbs down button is for. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to, go ahead and head over to this DistroTube channel as well and watch his videos, because I think he's a great content creator. I watch him all the time. He's a really great guy. I've talked to him a couple times as well. I think he's a cool guy. So go ahead and head over to the channel as well. And I will see you in the next one. If you like my content and wish to support my work, you can do so on Patreon. The link is in the description. Also, if you wish to see more, check out the videos on your screen.